What's going on? What's going on, world? This is Vinny Rodriguez, known to many as 8-Figure Vision. I'm here today, here in my hometown in Lawrence, just sharing with you guys the next in our vast book series called The Hiltons. It's the biography of the Hiltons, a true story of the American Dynasty by Randy Taraborelli. So what I could share with you initially about this book is, wow, there's a lot of wealth in this book, a ton of history. I mean, this book goes back to Mr. Hilton himself, Mr. Gus Hilton, in 1904, and it follows the lives of the generations of the Hilton family time and time again, ever since New Mexico, when the family, you know, with their southern accent and everything first started. So this book is very specific. I mean, some of the talks that they've had in here and the conversations that they've had in here, I've been a little curious to find out just how were they recorded to so much detail as they're recorded in this book, which I thought was really interesting. I mean, these people are very wealthy, these people here. So what I've identified, you know, this author, he's a New York Times best-selling author. He's written books such as After Camelot. So I haven't read that book yet, but I mean, best-selling books, you can't deny that. So some thoughts on this book. I mean, it's a hefty book, so I really would only suggest this book to those of you that like reading autobiographies, or those of you that like reading biographies such as this one, right? Those of you who feel that you learn a lot from viewing the turmoil, the triumphs, and the success of other individuals, how they've done it, and then finding ways in which you can apply it, because there's a lot of juice in this book, a lot. So initially, one of the things that I'll share with you guys here is, honestly, I think that one of the major takeaways from this book, what I found out is that they've always been consistent. What's made the Hilton dynasty so powerful is that they've always been consistent and they've been passionate. This idea of the Hilton Company started out of the Great Depression, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna read the part of the book again where it says that, but it started out of the war and out of the depression, or the recession, where they didn't have any other option. The only thing they had was to look at their eight bedroom house and to look at, you know, what can we do with the resources we have. So Mr. Hilton decided to transform their home into a hotel, and that totally changed the game. That totally started what is now the Hilton Dynasty today, a century later, right? So and he was always passionate about it. This was something that the family could participate in, and they were in a big family. So the family, they all get together and they could work together in actually becoming successful. And they became very wealthy and very influential. Now, one of the things I noticed is that, you know, some people say, don't do business with family. Well, if you told the Hiltons that, then this dynasty would have never been created. If they listened to you, this dynasty would have never been created. You see, who says don't involve business and family, right? Don't involve work and family. Why not? I would say that that's even more of a reason why you should have your family and your business together, because then that means you're with your family all the time. You get to create the life that you always wanted without having to sacrifice well invested time you could be spending with your family. So the Hiltons, they saw that and they really supported each other. Now, you know, not everything was crispy, not everything was great, in the sense that, you know, Mr. Hilton ended up marrying many times over and over again, right? And, you know, now all of his children, the good thing is that most of the children supported the dynasty, they supported the dream, but not all of them wanted to be hotel owners. not all of them wanted to have. They had a stake in the actual in the business and the legacy, but they didn't want to become someone involved in, you know, really looking at here are the hotel properties we're gonna get, here are the, you know, all of the employees we need to hire. They didn't want to be managers, right? Although I know one of his sons, I can't remember his name, he had too many children. One of his sons was invited as an economic opportunity to get involved with this. He was out of work and he was offered the opportunity to work in one of his hotels, and his son took it on. He wasn't really enthusiastic about it, but when he did it, he actually found out he was really good. He was really good at managing the store. So he harnessed that strength and he continued to make that hotel very successful. You see, you don't have to be passionate about something to be successful at it, and vice versa. You don't, and the other way around it. You don't have to necessarily be work so hard or work so diligently at something if you're passionate about it. These are the things, right? If you have other ways or other means of getting it done, there's a million ways to accomplish the same task. It's up to you to figure out what works best. See, the Hiltons, they had ups and downs, right? There was a moment where the Hilton family, they were in a rut. They got to a point where they almost lost it all. Guys, they've lost family members in tragedies. I mean, we're talking about some of them witnessed it firsthand. They saw what had happened, and you know, the grief and the despair that they had to deal with. Good thing that they had a supportive family. They will all get together, right? And they all supported each other in the mourning process of so many of their family members. Although in the end, they created a sense, a way in which they stayed strong throughout all of the years. And now, if you look at it, right, the legacy, the book, I'm not going to tell you exactly how it ends, although it ends with someone very popular who most people nowadays, today in 2017, would know. And it's very interesting that when they speak to the Hiltons of today, there's echoes of their parents, right? There's echoes